Hello, we've got an album here today. Yeah, that way. Russ, something about a wolf. There's really a wolf, that's what it is. Now, there were so many people that were telling me to review this project. They wanted to see my thoughts on it, wanted to see how I felt about it. And at first, I was just gonna look over it, and I hadn't heard of him before, so I did a little research. Turns out he's got a lot of mixtapes, he's got a couple of songs under his belt, more popular songs, so he's got a fan base. And I was looking at that. I still wasn't convinced, but one of my friends actually texted me and he was like, yo, man, I think you should listen to this project. But he sent me the eye roll emoji. And I was like, why would you send me an eye roll emoji and then say you should listen to this project? He was like, trust me, you want to listen to this project. So I did, and after listening to the entire project, I understand the eye roll emoji. Russ, being an artist from Atlanta, I expect a certain sound, but he actually goes against the grain. It's not that strong of Atlanta influence within the music, and I'm happy about that because most Atlanta artists kind of sound similar. A lot of them try to stick with the same sound. That never usually works to their benefit. So with this album, first few tracks, I was just meh. Russ, has a lot of confidence within himself, within the music. You go on his social media, the dude's promoting the album like a G. He's telling people how great it is. People are tweeting him, and he's retweeting and liking and favoriting all the tweets that show support for the album. Not really showing any other opinion of the album, so I'm like, now I really gotta listen to it. I'm sorry, this is... No! Thing starts off incredibly long-winded. Like, the first track you get into, he's rapping, and I'm like, okay, he's got a decent flow, but there's no switching cadence, there's no switching flow. It's just him going on and on and on and on. I'm convincing you about how great he is, because maybe I'm assuming he thinks you may not have heard of him, so he's got to let you in on who he is and what he does. But you're not really convinced of what he is or how great he is by the end of the track, because there's nothing that's really substantial within the first few minutes of the album that causes you to go, wow! And that's the majority of this project. I actually had to split this listening session into 2-3 days because I could not listen to this 20 long track album. Another thing is, this album is listed under hip-hop/rap, but some of it tries to have somewhat of a mainstream more influence with the music. Obviously he's trying to have some radio hits in here, but it's just one long stretched out idea. It's supposed to be a hip-hop song, but literally every song has something to do with the song before it. I don't know if people view that as a good thing because that means the project is cohesive, but track after track after track, this thing reiterates the exact same idea. Russ is great. He has a lot of women. He can take care of his family now, and he's got haters. Oh, and he refers to himself as the rap god. No, I do not think he was being sarcastic. I think he believes this. On the track Act Now, he has one statement in here that really throws me for a loop. He says there's way too many trends these days, as if he's above it all, as if he's so unique to the point where he's not doing anything that anyone else currently is. After listening to this entire album, I'm convinced that Russ is the only one who is convinced of his greatness. There are a couple of positive tracks on here, a couple of tracks that are better than others, like Cherry Hill. I don't really mind that one. I think he explores his voice a little bit more on that track. It comes off as more crooning over another girl again, because that's majority of this album is crooning over a girl. But I'm trying to get through it, and Cherry Hill is probably one of the tracks on here that's the easiest to tolerate because there are so many other elements within the track to kind of get you to enjoy the song. The same thing is kind of there with I Want to Go Down With You. I'm more infatuated with the elements within the song and the vibe that it delivers more than I am with Russ's vocal performance. But again, these tracks are so few and far between. I think Cherry Hill is track number 4, and the other track, I Want to Go Down With You, is track number 9, and then there's literally a long stretch of songs that cover the exact same topic. You know how a lot of us always hated G-Eazy for telling us that he was gonna steal our girlfriend because he constantly reminded us in every song, bro, I can take your girl. This guy does the same thing, but instead of saying he's gonna take my girl, he's trying to convince me of how many girls he has. Even going as far as to say, fuck my exes, I got A-lists on my phone. Why didn't you get them to get on this track to fund better production then? Because that's another issue with this album, is the lack of production. I mean, if you don't like Russ's voice, you're SOL, because there's nothing else about this album that makes you love it. Generally, if you're not a fan of an artist's voice, you have some redeeming quality within the music that gets you to come back to it. Like, nobody really likes Future for his lack of bars, but we all go to him because he's got some dope-ass beat. But with this album, there's a lack of punchlines, a lack of bars, a lack of really great production that causes you to focus more on Russ himself. And then you notice how little he's actually bringing to the tracks. Like on Do It Myself, which on track number 19, it says pull the trigger. Those are kind of like the same track. They're just telling you nobody else is gonna do it for you. Those are literally, that could have been combined into one track. Like on Do It Myself, which ironically I think he could have found use out of another feature or possibly better production or some help in some way on this track, because the song gets dry so fast. And that's another thing. This thing is featureless. I love the fact that artists feel like they have so much to offer to an album or to a body of work that they feel like they are the best to convey that message, but the fact that there is nothing else enjoyable about this album other than Russ's voice, which I still have huge problems with, is not a good thing. Don't get it wrong, okay? I see the talent within an individual like this. I just think there's so much more he could have done with it. But let's say you do only like Russ's rapping voice. Let's say you think he's a great rapper. He's not. This isn't me hating, okay? As I said before, I want all artists who make music to succeed. But as people who purchase the music, we deserve good music. Multiple women like a Saudi prince. If I call your bluff, you better fold me. I just want to hear your story like an audiobook. Keep one eye on you like a wink. The thing that's weird about this album, as I've said before, that it's marketed as a hip-hop/rap album, but a good portion of it is trying to be an R&B smoothing album, like, oh man girl, let me serenade you. Half of which in those tracks, it feels like he's trying to convince people who are listening to the album that, oh my god, you don't know about this. Like, yeah, dude, cause I'm a virgin. I've never talked to multiple girls at the same time. I don't know what a wet vagina feels like. Yeah, bro, tell me more. I really need you to tell me about this. This wouldn't be that bad, but there's gonna be another artist that's gonna come around and they're gonna talk about the same thing, and they may even be better than you were, and this album is gonna be really forgettable. I don't see an issue with him covering the same subject matter as much as I have an issue with him not doing it in a memorable way. There's always gonna be an artist that's gonna talk about that, so you need to make your definition of that the most memorable experience, the best experience for the listeners. But with this album, that doesn't happen. I think it has potential. I think, you know, Russ has his own unique sound. His voice is definitely unique. I like how he tries to experiment with his vocals on this thing, but there's nothing about it that stands out to me, and I don't think within this project that people can listen to it and be like, damn man, this is gonna be my anthem. Like, with the exception of Cherry Hill, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a 3 out of 10 on this thing. Got redeeming qualities in some aspects with the way Russ uses his voice, but other than that, I don't see it. I just don't. But hey, this is just my opinion. Don't be mad, don't be salty. If you have an opinion, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section below. Russ, keep doing your thing. If you find success with it, that's great. If people like it, that's great. This is just my opinion. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace, man. Peace, and then peace again.